Hello, hello to anyone out there. It is getting closer to spooky season and I am getting quite excited. I am going to do a little bit of sewing just as I just wait to see if anyone pops by, and then I will just get started with the topic of today's live chat, which is obviously in the title of the video, should you click on it. So yeah, how is everyone? How was the weekend? My weekend was okay. I had a pretty cool Saturday. I had a cool Saturday. I had a good Saturday. I went live on Saturday and we looked at the Suit of Cups. From what I remember, the Suit of Ghosts, that was it. Hi, Rona. Hi, Natalie. From the future. I love those Aussies. And I did some art journaling and watched some Tarot Tube. And what else did I do? Oh, I made some really good soup. And I watched a spooky film. Yeah, it was good. Yesterday I had what I call a Cinderella Sunday, but there wasn't so much of the fun bit of the Cinderella Sunday. Hi Michelle, hi Scott. Because usually I spend sort of a part of the day doing chores with my husband around the house, just blitzing it. Hi Deanne, you right, my love? And hi Diane, and Diane. And yeah, so we did a bunch of stuff. We changed the bed linen, vacuumed, cleaned the litter box, cleaned the bathroom, all that boring guff, laundry, that sort of thing. And then I had a bunch of paperwork I needed to sort out. Actually, I wanted to sort out my receipts so that I could and all my paperwork so that I can start my tax return. But then I ended up tackling my filing cabinet box thing that I have, drop file thing. And I spent 3 hours sat on this floor here. My back is killing me. It's not great for my hip problem that I've got at the moment. It's really I just realized I was meant to take some more painkillers before starting this video. Oh well. I'll take some after lunch. But yeah, I ended up sorting through all of those papers and reorganizing my filing cabinet and putting aside a ton of stuff to shred because there was paperwork from 2005. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't even live in this property anymore. Why do I have this? So yeah, I just went through everything and cleared out so much space. And my filing cabinet is now half full, where it was previously so stuffed that I had stuff rested on top of it. So I showed in one of my live chats, I think it was on Friday, I quickly turned the camera around to show my bedside cabinet, which had it's just one of those little, not little, but filing cabinet things with a handle that you can lock, like a lockbox. And I had it under my bedside cabinet, my table, to remind me to sort through it and go through all the paperwork and get rid of a bunch of stuff, put the more relevant stuff inside and reorganize all the files. I put that under there in August 2020. So it took me 13 months to get to that task. It took 3 hours of my time. I feel better for doing it, but it's still, I put it off for 13 months. This is my life. So yeah, so now the table doesn't have anything underneath it. It's great. I haven't dusted it or hoovered it because I was absolutely tired. All that is to say, I didn't actually get around to the receipts. The thing that I wanted to get to, but in a way, I kind of had to do that in order to then be able to go on and do the other stuff. So I'm going to do that next Sunday. So then I didn't really have much time to do all the pampering stuff. So I just had a quick shower and we ordered some takeaway and just watched. What did we watch? We watched Puppet History. And then I just watched, what did I watch? Oh my God, I can't remember what else I watched, my brain. But I can see some other people have come in. Gomez Adams, hello. Everyone's saying hello to each other. It's nice. Yay for clearing things out, right? You always feel so much better. There's this thing there, I always put off this. I have a to-do list of so many things, little things that a kind of a pain in the bum and probably wouldn't take too long to do. But altogether, they seem overwhelming, and I keep putting them off, and they roll over from month to month to month. But actually, if I just took a week off and went, I am just going to hammer this to-do list and just get everything on it done, I would have done it all in a week, and I would feel so much better because I've organised a ton of stuff. There's some other stuff that would take a bit longer, like over multiple sessions. But like, oh my God, I don't know, drive myself mad. But yeah, there's so much clearing out that needs doing in this flat. So much, but it really felt good to get the paperwork done. I just need to now. The next thing that'll probably take me 13 months is shredding everything, because the shredder we have is like a really cheap £5 job, and you spend more time unjamming it than actually shredding stuff. So I think what I need to do is invest in a good shredder, and then I can just like make real like light work of it, and then just keep on top of it. That's the thing. I think if you keep on top of it, it's not that bad. It's boring, isn't it? It's adulting, but actually you're saving yourself a massive ball ache in the future by just keeping on top of things. I've gotten good at doing my finances every Friday morning. I do all my budgeting. I do anything that needs paying. I, move any money around. I do all of that on a Friday morning. I've had that habit for years now. But I'd fallen out of doing the business side of it and putting the information into my form that I then use to do my tax return, the information. So then I'm like, it doesn't take that much longer to add that information that I've taken and distill it into another spreadsheet. I used to do that every Friday as well. I just fell out of the habit of it. And so doing my tax return is such a big ball ache now, whereas before I used to number my receipts, fill in the information, file that away. And then when it came to doing my tax return, all I had to do was take the numbers that were summarized on the spreadsheet and whack them on my tax return. It was really quick. And now it's become this big thing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it is an electric shredder, Rona, but it's not a very good one. It's a really cheap, rubbish one. But yeah, clearing out. We're going to get a storage room to take all our clutter and stuff to sort out our stuff next month. Yeah, storage room. Interesting. Cool. Thursdays are my finance days. See, people, like, sometimes you just need to have like a thing, don't you? Like a designated day of the week or month where you like tackle something that's like boring. And the thing is, because I do my budgeting and finances every Friday, like my personal stuff, it's relatively quick, pretty much, so yeah. You sound so much like me when tackling one project before a different one. I'm on a similar time, right? And then I'm procrastinating by doing something else, like procrastinating. Like you're being productive and you've cleaned the place, but you haven't done the thing that you were meant to do. But you still feel like, well, I've done something here. Look how clean my kitchen is, or whatever. Or procrastinating, which I talk about a lot. And I have so many craft projects. There's like I have a problem with object impermanence where I just forget about things and people just existing. Please don't take it personally. It's just the way my brain's wired. But like, for example, I keep wanting to get on with this like destroyed virtue deck that I started several years ago at this point. But I keep forgetting that's an option on my to-do list. I forget. And I'm like, oh, God, yeah. And I'll see the box over there in the corner sometimes. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a project I meant to do. Like, so it's a project I want to do, but instead of doing it, I end up doing something else. But then if there's something else I want to do, I'll probably end up doing this rather than the thing that I'm meant to be doing or want to be doing. Why am I like this? Does anyone else have this problem? But I'm like, but I'm still being productive, so it's fine. Like, I'm one of those people that needs a deadline, because otherwise I'll just be like, I need a fire under my butthole. Not literally, ow. But like a metaphorical fire under my butthole. Is Nommy still up here? Oh, Nommy is still up here. Look at this sulky bum. Look at this little face. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Bombi. She looks so cute and sad. She's probably a bit sad because the sun is moving off the end of the bed now. She was sunbathing here, and it's moved away, so she's no longer as toasty as she was. It's still surprisingly warm. But yeah, I haven't done the drawing on the back of this one, so some of them don't have the drawing. And actually, since I started this, I've gotten a lot better at like mixed media art and journaling. So I've built some more skills. So some of them haven't got the thing. Some of them do have. So I've got, this is the high, no, who is this? The 8. So majestic as fuck. And the donuts. So yeah. Oh, that's meant to be like the Empress. The coffee cup. So yeah, anyway, I've shown this before. But yeah, I'm like, I want to get this done and so that I can use it. So Deanne's like, I'm exactly the same. Oh, the struggle is real, right? Brains are weird and silly. They lie to us, they trick us. Anyway, so it seems like there's quite a few people in. So I'm just going to pop this aside. I'm really excited to finish this one though, because I'll just show you. It's all orange, so it's got a like a burnt orange. It's called. What's this color called? I think this color is called pumpkin. Might be called pumpkin actually. This color, I can't remember. It's like a muted sort of orange. And then I've got they probably look quite similar on camera. And then I've got more of a true yummy brighter but not neon orange on the inside. And I'm using like green thread and like a green glitter ribbon, so it's going to look like an actual pumpkin. And then I've got the pumpkin charm. I'm like, oh, do I dare like sell these ones? So every time I make one, I'm like, I want this one. I've used up some of all the charms as well now, so I can't even make like one for myself. I've still got a few bats and ghosts, so we'll see. I might make myself. I should make myself one, because I should make myself one for my own bloody Halloween tarot, shouldn't I? Anyway, I'll put this aside. But yeah, I'm excited to see this one when it's finished. I think it's going to be super cute. Yeah, it's cute, isn't it, Deanne? So I tried to save myself one pumpkin charm. Maybe I'll make myself, because my mini Halloween tarot, the pouch is purple, but I don't want to make like the same combo for both of the decks. So at least you made a to-do list. That's the beginning. Yeah, I'm one of those people that procrastinates with lists, and I have lists for my lists and lists on top of lists and sub lists. It's also drive myself bananas. Swedish death cleaning is a thing. Yes, Rona, I find it really, really fascinating. Nice waking up and finding a Kelly live, says Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Yeah, I have a friend who's an artist, and her house is like packed full of stuff, and she makes very sort of like everything's just there's stuff everywhere, and her art is very busy. And she's like, oh, what a horrible idea, Swedish death cleaning. I think that going through someone's things and learning about them is actually a really nice thing. And like, you know, and I'm like the complete opposite, because the thought, you know, if everything goes as nature intends, my parents should go before I do. Who knows? You never know what goes on in this life, you know. And the aforementioned friend lost her daughter several years ago. So she outlived one of her daughters, which is not the way we think things will go, because life just, things happen. I guess maybe she was coming off the back of going through her daughter's things, so I think it's a bit different. But the thought of going through, like, my parents are separated. They've been separated for years, like since I was like 8. I am now 40. It's fine. We're a blended family. We all get on. It's absolutely fine. I love my stepmom. She's amazing. And you know, the idea of having to go through, like, that's 2 houses to go through, right? Oh my God, like, they have a lot of shit. And the thought of it, just like the burden of like all that stuff. What do you do with all their random stuff? Like, do you keep it? Do you get rid of it? And then are you being heartless if you get rid of it? Do you donate it? Do you, like, it's a real thing. Like, I'm imagine I would probably keep some things. And my dad said that I would get his crystal ball, and if he can find it, his tarot deck that he had. So, you know, there's the things that I would want to keep, but like just the like nitty gritty, like boring shit, like fucking kitchen utensils, or like just random shit that was important to them but it's not important to you. Like, if I pop my clogs at well, obviously I'm going to pop my clogs at some point, but before my time, or any time, I guess I'm going to have but I keep pointing over there because I've got 2 massive boxes of tarot decks. There's going to probably be quite a lot of tarot decks for someone to rehome. Someone like that is left at the end of it, it, whoever takes it, whether I outlive my husband or vice versa, might not realize that some of them are really valuable or are collector's items or out of print. And like, who's gonna like deal with that? They might just go, I'll just give it all to a charity shop. But part of me likes that, because I like the idea of someone who's really into tarot stumbling upon this like dead person's like tarot deck and going, holy shit, it's a second edition Danilov tarot, you know, or it's a long out of print Sacred Rose tarot, or whatever it is, an indie deck. So, you know, there is that. But like, anyway, I'm getting off topic. I guess it's kind of morbid and macabre because of Halloween and spooky season. I'm someone who classes myself as death positive, and that people sort of misunderstand that because they think, oh, you're like, yay, death. I'm not yay, death. Like, I don't want to die. Like, I have a lot of health anxiety, and if people know that I've spoken a lot, I've got a lot of health stuff going on at the moment, and like, I'm always worried that it's something serious, and, you know, my mind always goes to the worst place, and I've had some horrible scares with serious stuff. You know, it makes you worry and think about these things. But I also think that talking about it is important. Like, my stepsister will not contemplate this discussion about death with my stepmom, so her biological mum. She doesn't want to talk about my stepmom, her biological mum, dying or what to do. Like, you know, she just won't allow the subject to be broached, and vice versa, because she is someone who's had like organ transplants and stuff like that. So it's also a very real issue for her, living with certain illnesses and diseases. So, and I'm like, that I don't find, I understand not wanting to think about your mum dying, but at the same time, you know, like I said, if things go as nature intends, as it were, you know, that is going to happen. And I think just not thinking about it doesn't help prepare you. Nothing is ever going to prepare you, obviously, but I think it helps to talk about it. And with Caitlin Dirty of Ask a Mortician, it's important to talk about these things. And yeah, like, actually, when I was going through my paperwork yesterday, I found a leaflet that I picked up at a vegan fair a couple of years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, about how to have a good funeral, you know, and about it's like the naturaldeath.org company, Natural Death Company, Natural Death Center, that's it. And actually, I have a friend whose daughter, again, a different person whose daughter, who unfortunately passed away from cancer 2 years ago, last month, ended up being buried I think via these people, and she had like a natural recycled wool felted coffin in pure white, and because she had to confront her thing. But yeah, I kept that out because I'm like concerned that some of the stuff that I'm dealing with could be serious, because health anxiety, it may not be, but like, until I get answers, it's always in my head that it could be a thing. So we don't know. Anyway, I'm being very vague, but I've got stuff going on. It's been stuff going on. Like, I just can't catch a break the last couple of years. I'm just so meh. Anyway, let's have a look at this, and then it's been 18 minutes, and I was like, I want to go live around 12 because I want to be done for lunchtime, so I've got that soup left over to reheat. Good mothers, says 6 of Wands. Good morning. That makes more sense. The link to Kelly's Etsy shop is in her about section. Oh, thank you. My shop is on holiday mode. I will be holiday moding it on Friday the 1st of October at 7 p.m. UK time. So that will be, you know, translate that into your time in the Google thing, or whichever search engine you use. Let's be honest, most people use Google these days, don't they? And that will be my Halloween collection will be going up. Not all of, like, I've got loads. I don't know if I'm going to be able to photograph and upload all of them, so I'm planning to do, I've spoken about this before, I will open it on the 1st. I will leave the shop open for a number of days, like 3 or 4 days. Once I've got a number of orders, I'm going to close it down, post that up, and I'll post the stuff off. And then the following Friday, again 7 p.m, I will open it, and then so people can just sort of, you get a chance, you get So Friday to Saturday, so you get like 3 or 4 days a week out of each week to buy. I close to process, and then on the Friday I'll open again. I'm going to try and do 3 drops for Halloween. We will see how it goes. And I still haven't sewn any of the like other accessories, like the earrings and brooches that I wanted to do. I've done some experimenting, but not landed on any firm ideas. So we will see. But let's be honest, folk here are probably more interested. Shauna's here, 6 of Wands. Hello. Smash that like. I never really think about the like button. Yeah. You can if you want. Don't feel like you have to, though. I don't know why I keep waking up at 4:30 a.m, but the good side effect is catching Kelly's chest. Oh, Shauna. Oh, I hope you managed to get some decent sleep soon. So anyway, we're 20 minutes in. We haven't even looked at a single card. Looking at the suit of bats, which will be the suit of swords. Again, just for those who may not have seen, I'll be using the Smith-Waite Centennial for this. Much of Muchness Writes Pixies artwork, and the Halloween tarot, obviously. So let's just actually, I'm going to do, I don't know why I'm going to hold up the whole pile. That's not good. So these are, I think the suit of swords or bats is one of the closest to the Smith-Waite. Like there isn't a huge amount of deviation. It is just make it spooky. So I'm hoping that this can be quite a quick one. So we have our Ace of Bats, and the bat is obviously upside down, and we've got our cat and the hand coming out of the clouds. And what is the ring on? They've got like a ring that looks like a crown. So I hadn't really noticed that on the small one. Again, the mini one, you can see more obviously in the bigger one. And I guess that's, you know, referencing the crown here. Can you see the crown around it's like a ring that's a crown. So got lots of nods to the original. The 2 of bats. So obviously instead of swords, there's the bats flying above the lady. She's sitting on a very similar thing, like a box shape, and there's the water in the background and sort of the mountains and what have you. Obviously, it's different that but they're both set at night, and you've got the crescent moon. But obviously, the Halloween tarot has this like lovely jet black backdrop with the little stars, which I really enjoy. And the bats fluttering about her, maybe trying to make a case for each, make an argument for each case. For her, each decision, making a case for each decision that she needs to make. And I like that she's got like angel wings, although she does put me in mind a little bit of the angels, the weeping angels, obviously from Doctor Who. And you've got here, if you see, there's like the cat and there's like a ball, and it has a little smiley pumpkin face on it, but it's very hard to see. Again, this is easier to notice than on the mini version. I am most familiar with the bat suit, says Leanne. Hi, Leanne. We are early risers get the worms. It's 5:30 now. I laid in for an hour to see if I could fall back to sleep. I'm liking get up at 5:30. I have to get up at 5:30 tomorrow. The 3 of bats, or 3 of swords. So again, obviously, instead of the heart being pierced by 3 swords, we have 3 bats. And you've got some actual lightning going on here as well. The cat is sort of, you know, got its hackles up and is looking defensive. And actually, I prefer this version because, you know, the swords piercing the heart is very sort of visceral and kind of very hard to read in a neutral way, like visually as an image. But this one is a little more, you know, you've got these bats and they're like holding on to it with its claws, but they could be protecting, they could be attacking, they could be merely investigating, they could just be curious. So I feel like this one is a 3 of swords, especially as you know, the suit of the mind, of air, of the mind, of thoughts, of ideas and communication, that this is a bit more open. And, you know, like, you know, if they're curious, that can apply to the idea of intellectual curiosity. If they are sort of gripping it, it could be sort of, you know, mental, that sort of mental anguish and feeling sort of getting scrunched up. Like it's a real, I don't know, I really like this interpretation for the swords. The four of bats is four of swords is really funny. Again, obviously we have the bats instead of swords depicted, the three on the wall, and then the one on, you know, on the, I mean, I know this is meant to be like they're resting and they're like, oh, this knight is asleep, but this is basically a tomb or sarcophagus with, you know, with the statue on top. We have, these are 10 a penny in the UK. You can't go into a church or a churchyard or a museum like the British, the V&A Museum comes to mind. There's a hall. If you go through, if you enter the V&A Museum from the tunnel that is connected via the London Underground, that's to the right, if you, as you come, why am I telling you the direction anyway, and you go along the tunnel and you can access all the museums on Museum Street from it, and you go in the back entrance of the V&A, you come up these steps and it goes into a hall and it's full of loads of marble statues, lots of Greek stuff basically that a lot of Brits have stolen over the years because colonialism, but there's also stuff that is actually from Britain by British, and there's like tombs, sarcophagi from like of like important people and stuff. So articulate, but yeah, and you know, this looks very much like that. Anyway, I got sidetracked. But yeah, so to this one though, this one we've actually got what appears not as a statue, but an actual pumpkin person with a real squishy pillow and a real cat and a nice little blankie to keep them warm. They are sleeping in their armor, which does seem a little unusual. But then when I think about it, my D&D character, who is a fighter, she doesn't wear a lot of metal armor. She wears a lot of like, she has chainmail and she's got some like leather pieces. She's not got full plated armor. She's got some plated pieces, but she sleeps in her armor most of the time because she needs to be ready for action, because she's the tank of the D&D group and she needs to be able to jump into action and fight. And luckily, because she doesn't wear full armor, she doesn't have to, like, putting it all back on wouldn't take too long anyway. But anyway, that's a whole other, again, let's just see. I'm always on CST. Oh, is that a time thing, right? Okay, 7 of Swords. This is really cute. So, you know, we've got the original. It looks like there's been some kind of fight, or, you know, someone's sulking. You can see someone in the background looks like they've got their head in their hands. They possibly crying. And I don't know if this person was like a mediator in some kind of duel or what have you, but this one just really tickles me, because you've got all the bats flying around, obviously, because it's the swords, and you've got the little cat, and then this person is like with a little bandit mask on, has nabbed a bunch of trick-or-treat bags. The moon is looking down disapprovingly. They're like, naughty. And then you've got this like what appears to be maybe a kid, obviously because it's trick-or-treat, crying because this person's probably stolen their trick-or-treat bag, and this clown being like, oh mate, look what you've done, you've made them cry, don't be selfish, like don't be greedy. Even the pumpkins look a little sad. Well, one of the pumpkins look a little sad and one of them looks a little shocked. One of them smiling, but they're like the details that are just so much more difficult to spot on the small one. I'm really enjoying this larger copy. But yeah, what a git. Little sod. Kids can be such arseholes though, can't they? I love your sidetrack stories. Thank you, because I know it probably drives other people up the fucking wall. But I'm saying that, like, if it drives people up the wall, they don't have to watch. Again, there's that continued conversation around, like, well, don't watch then, just switch off. Treat sacks, yeah. I can see the paper crafting people using treat sacks in their journals. Yes. I don't know if I've got any left. I had some black and orange ones in my little paper crafting thing. I've got a paper crafting box under here. I don't know if I've got any left. I do have some really nice paper crafting Halloween paper. Oh, I do still have some popcorn bags though, that I bought ages ago. I'm down to my last 3 of those. And then I've got like random pouch, like from the last time I went to Amoeba Records in Hollywood. That's from stuff that I bought there. So yeah, do love a bit of paper. Anyway, so sidetrack. And French fried checkerboard paper. Oh yeah, I've seen that as well. We don't really have that so much over here in the UK. It's definitely more of a US and Canada thing, I think. Okie dokie. 6 of swords, a 6 of bats. This is very much a muchness, you know. Obviously, because the bats, you know, and it makes sense, right? Because it's the suit of air and the bats are flying, so it really works. And it's just, yeah, people being transported across the way. We've got some pumpkins in the boat, which is pretty cool. Some tasty, tasty pumpkins, and there's some like an inviting looking, or well, I say inviting, potentially spooky looking residence or building in the background. And this one, it just has trees and like there's no building from what I've ever seen. I don't think I'm missing anything on that one. But yeah, but I do like that the person taking them across the water is a pumpkin person with weird little wooden arms, not an actual human. Can you see? So I'm like, maybe these are like not actually people. They could be other little creatures, but the cat is like keeping an eye out at the front. Bats are like the 6 of wands. They will play fetch with people. Really? That'd be so cool. Do you do a tattoo tour video, Kelly? No, I don't. I haven't, and I'm not really inclined to do so, honestly, to be honest. Some of them are so old, and some of them would be indecent to try and show on on video. So 7 of bats is really cute. Again, a bit that sort of sneaking off vibe. I feel like I get quite similar feelings sometimes with the 5 and the 7 of swords. It's very and you can get, I feel like I can get that a little bit sometimes with like the 7 and 8 of pentacles, where there's this like sneaky aspect, and because it's an uneven number, I think of disruption and sort of shaking up the Nomi's on the move. Boo boo. Oh, she's sunning her little butt. What are you doing? Put your butt down. But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, but I love this like turnip person rather than a pumpkin, because that's a nod to the tradition that we were talking about the other day about actually it was not pumpkins that were originally carved out, it was indeed turnips. So you've got this little turnip person, and they are sneaking off with all the, look at all those bats they've got, and you've got these lovely tents just like in this one. I love the colours, and the cat is like, wait for me, let's do a robbery. But yeah, no moon in that one this time, but cute. And it seems to make a bit more sense because it's under the cover of darkness, being a bit more sneaky. But again, we have this whole the context of the 7 of swords, or the 7 of bats in this case, about people could be stealing out of need. Context always, right? Such a fun deck, right? 7 of wands is my second fave card of the deck. Don't know why. It's just quite cute, isn't it? How could anyone read this without charms? Wow, I need this deck so much. What do you mean read this without charms? Without charms? What do you mean, Liam? So now we're on to the 8 again. Very, very, this whole suit is very much a muchness. But instead of the swords around the person, it is bats. We've got the moon in the background, but the moon doesn't have a face for a change. But we do have the castle, just as we do in this version. You know, the water, the bandages. Although my brain goes to like toilet paper because Halloween. Or like maybe mummy bandages. But mostly I think toilet paper. Just where my head goes. We got the 9 of swords and 9 of bats. I love that in this one, the cat is like, oh no, did you have a bad dream? It was probably the cat that woke her up, sitting on her face, or like sitting on her chest, purring and looking at her intently until she woke up. Oh, cats can be so creepy like that. But this is very similar. The bedspread on this one is more plain. It doesn't have all of the astrological symbols on the roses that you get in this one. But we do get the sun on this one. And this one, you have the people, like, it looks like there's a fight going on this one. And then the bats flying around. And we do get a little bit of the moon peeking out there in the corner. But yeah, very much a muchness. And again, I like this. It's that feeling of, like, if you've woken up from a nightmare and you're like, this feeling of being, it's so often in films, people are seen running away from bats, like attacking them and attacking their heads or flying around their heads. But from what I remember, I can't remember where it was, but I saw someone who knows about bats talking about this trope in horror films and just whatever spooky films, that doesn't really happen unless you're trying to escape from a very small space where the bats are also trying to get through, because there's limited space, because they have such good spatial awareness with the way that it's sonar, isn't it? Is it sonar, sonic? Like, they use echolocation, that they wouldn't like bash into your head. That's just not what would happen. Bats are like way too good at flying for that. I love bats so much. They're so cute. And I will say, even the ones that people think are ugly, like sort of weird, like vampire bats and fruit bats, and ones that have those weird little faces, I just love all of them. They're so cute. I love them. I don't know why people are scared of them. And sometimes I'll see, because I will sometimes, if it's just getting dark and it's like late in the summer, obviously it gets darker later, I will sometimes see bats flit past, because we've got like PARK land just over there and some marshes. I don't want to say the word because she'll get excited. And it's really nice to see. And like, yeah, it's very common, like, to see bats flitting about if you have a garden in London. When I used to be in my my old place that I used to live that had a garden, and I'd sit out there at night and I'd have a cigarette because I used to smoke, and would enjoy seeing the bats flitting about. Bats are cool. So 10 of swords, 10 of bats. Again, very similar. Again, this one feels less intense because obviously this person is literally stabbed, and I always think that line of red that you can see is like blood. Although this is also the sort of histrionics card, isn't it? Whereas this one, there's no stabbing, there's no blood, because it's bats and they're flying above this woman, and it looks almost like she's underwater or mist, because she could be laying on grass. It's hard to tell the texture. There's like little lines, so I'm inclined to say it's grass and it's maybe morning mist that's wafting over her, which would make sense because air and mist and vapor, right? Thoughts. Again, sometimes you can get similar vibes with the 9 and the 10 of swords, I feel. The faces in those are designed so juices run. Yes, I've heard that. They're so cute. You guys be sure to search cotton ball bats. Oh my God. Okay, I'm doing it now because bats. Cotton ball bats. Oh my God. Yes, I have seen these before. Oh, they have, yeah, because I've seen them all like scrunched together in a leaf and they're hiding. I'm going to put it in the thing for everyone to see. I just did an image search. Check out the bats. Yeah, bats are cute. So the courts, again, the courts in this deck are very just the same, but just make it spooky. I do enjoy that this page of bats has like a little sack, and they have what appears to be a camera and binoculars. Again, it's easier to tell in this version than in the small version, but from what I'm able to see on this larger version, to me it looks like a camera and binoculars. They have a little ghosty on their scarf, and yeah, they have that lovely sort of, see all the rough sort of terrain that's been echoed from the original page, and the clouds obviously, and then the bats flying around. It's just really cool, and the cat just do along with them. So, you know, very much a muchness. They've got like weird glasses in their hands. They're like, it's not really showing up, but they have like swirls in them. So it's almost like they're these weird optical illusion glasses that you might get in like a joke shop or a fancy dress shop. But yeah, it's an interesting choice and I like it. I like that. And also, again, that whole idea of like intellectual curiosity and like the camera and the binoculars makes me think they're off investigating. I hope they're not going off to be a creep and like stalking someone. But you know, Knight of Bats. Oh, yeah, I've done the right way. So again, same as usual. We've got the wings or bat wings on the helmets. This horse looks more less annoyed, maybe a little bit more derpy than the others. And the bat on the flag that they're holding rather than a sword. Oh, I just thought it was dots in the small one. I've just noticed. See what I mean? Because it's larger. These little red dots on the horse's, this bit here, they're actually tiny little devil heads. Now that I can see on this bigger one. Bloody hell, my eyesight. That's interesting. And there's a little butterfly on the cloak clasp. Does he have a butterfly? Oh, he's got butterflies on here, so that's a nod to that. Clever. The Queen of Swords. This little bat. I love the bat going to like it's going to land on her hand. And this one is a bit like you've got the butterflies that are referenced in the Queen. And then like on her, because she's got butterflies on her crown, she's got a butterfly on hers. Or is it a death head's moth? I can't remember. Oh yeah, it is a death head moth. I couldn't remember if it was. And then we've got, instead of a cherub, we've got a bat on the main chunky bit of the throne, and she's actually holding a sword, or a short sword, a dirk. What would that be? I love that the moon is just like watching benignly down, and the cat is hiding behind the throne there. So yeah, pretty cool. Does her clasp is a little pumpkin. Again, I hadn't really noticed. I thought it was just like a red with a little bit of squiggles in it in the little one, in the mini version, but I can see in this version it is indeed a pumpkin. Yay. Hello to anyone I might have missed. I'm buzzing around making coffee and whatnot. Sounds good to me, Deanne. And the final card, oh my god, I might finish this by lunchtime, is the Ten of Kings. The King of Swords. And again, he's got bats all over his outfit. He's got a death's head moth instead of a butterfly again. He's got a bat on his crown. He's got a sword. And I like that the cat is at the bottom there again, looking up from behind, looking a little cheeky, a little sneaky. So yeah, that is the suit of swords, the suit of bats. And actually, I just wanted to have a little look again at the book for the bats with regards, because I forgot to read why the bats were chosen, which I did. I got sidetracked talking about death and procrastinating. So, since the traditionally dark and frightening tarot suit of swords belongs to the element of air, the Halloween rendition of the suit logically takes the form of bats, the only true flying mammals and exquisite creatures of the night sky. The bats comprise the thinking suit, reflecting a bat version of the intellect, the uncannily sensitive radar of these nocturnal creatures that helps them find food and avoid collisions, even on the blackest of Halloween nights. As a bat expertly navigates the darkness, these cards indicate the need for us to slice through confusion and deception with swift precision. Still, there is a flip side to the bat suit, the side of conflict, struggle, disaster, and pain. The mythical side of bats that has historically made us shudder. Their pointed, sharp-toothed faces, the nocturnal swooping, and eek, the tangling in our hair, again, which isn't actually a thing. The human bloodsuckers, the witch's familiar. Let's just say some of the cards aren't pretty. On a lighter note, the bat cards reveal a brave willingness to confront battle head-on, even when it seems too dark to see clearly. So, cool. And then I wanted to read the Five of Bats, you know, where that one was like taking all the Halloween treat bags. 5 of bats: loss, defeat, unfairness, cruelty, humiliation, the inability to defend yourself. Yeah, that seems about right. And then for the 7, which I sometimes think my brain can find quite similar, a plan that may not work, a setback or bout of bad luck, a partial success that does not justify the risks. See, I don't know if I would say that, but there we go. I'm just going to have a last little gander at the comments, and then I'm going to sign off because I am going to reheat my homemade soup: carrot, spinach and butterbean, with loads of like garlic that was sent to us from our in-laws from their allotment, and like red onion and stuff. Yum yum. That's what I'm having. Let's see. Meow 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 meow. Hello, Jamie, my dear. Lovely to see you. What's the charm casting idea, Leanne? I'm so glad you ordered this deck, Deanne. I'd love to see your thoughts when it comes through. Sauce for bringing death up. I am being pragmatic at 61. No, don't apologise. Like I said, I'm one of those people that, well, you know, thinks it's important to talk about, and I think about it quite a bit because I'm maudlin, and also I have a lot of health anxiety, especially at the moment because I've had so much stuff going on that it just comes up in my head all the time. So yeah, I was waiting to see if Leanne was still here to mention because I was asking about the charm casting. I can't seem to find the original. Oh, I'd laid down the cards and then a charm cast on top. Oh, okay, yeah. See, Kelly Fitz does that sometimes. She's done videos in the past where she's done charm casting on top of tarot cards or oracle cards. It's really cool. But yeah, I guess you could just have a set of spooky charms as well, couldn't you? Oh, I guess I've got some spooky charms. They're all going on pouches though. So, oh, Nobby's still here. She doesn't usually spend so much time up here. Anyway, yeah, this was a relatively quick one for me. 46 minutes so far. I love garlic. I have a garlic allotment. Wonderful. To have a garlic. Well, it's not a garlic allotment. It's an allotment that garlic's one of the things they grow. I actually have a separate charm casting table. I don't cast on top of cards. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Cool. I really should put together a charm casting set, shouldn't I? Because I have loads of charms, but I'm always like, this, I can't keep it for myself. It must go in a pouch. But maybe I will, if I find I'm getting bored of using a certain charm on pouches, maybe I'll be like, well, I'll just put one of those aside for myself if I feel it can relate to something in a reading, I guess. But yeah, that is the third suit of like pips that we've looked at, and the final suit will be the pentacles, or otherwise known as the pumpkins, in this deck. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got stuff on tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll be going live tomorrow, so it'll probably be later in the week. But I'm really enjoying doing these. I'm glad I managed to keep this one a bit shorter, because on Saturday I ended up waffling on. We had a few more people in because it was the weekend, and we ended up sort of getting sidetracked with other stuff and chatting afterwards. So, but yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm interested to see, because I know some of you have ordered this deck now, like Deanne, and I can't remember if someone else said in the chat who's not here today. I think they said they'd ordered it as well. So it'll be interesting to see if the deck comes in for people before I do the final one. So, oh, I have a beautiful charm casted tray that was my mum's, and a box I cast in as well. That's so lovely, Jamie. In a short Moroccan brass top table. Oh, it is a short Moroccan brass top table with wood carved legs. Oh, lovely. Sounds fancy. But, oh, Rona, I'm sending you love. Stuff, right? But yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one. And in the meantime, look after yourselves and each other. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Social distance. All that stuff. And take care of yourselves. And I've already said that.